ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Okay, teachings of Queen Kunti, chapter 12. So Saturday we discussed, since Krishna is such a kind God, whom else shall I worship but Krishna? Krishna is very kind. The example here that was given was of Putana, who attained the position of Krishna's mother in the spiritual world, even though she came to poison and kill Krishna. So who else can be more kind than Krishna? So since he is such a kind God, whom else shall I worship but Krishna? Kunti Devi says, Na yasya kashchid dayitaha. The word dayita means favorite. Krishna favors no one. Dveshyascha. And no one is his enemy. We expect some benediction or profit from a friend and harmful activities from an enemy. But Krishna is so perfect that no one can harm him, nor can anyone give him anything. Nor can anyone give him anything. And we are trying to think, oh, I am offering bhoga to Krishna, oh, I am offering some Lakshmi to Krishna. Nobody can give him anything because everything is his. So who can be his friend or enemy? Na yasya kaschit dayitosti. He doesn't need anyone's favor. He doesn't need anyone's favor. We need his favor. So the reason we offer bhoga, the reason we offer Lakshmi in his service is for our purification. It's not for him. Because if he is satisfied, happy with our offering, then he will shower mercy on us. So it is for our own sake that we are doing, not for him. Of course, when devotees make progress and come to the pure devotional stage, then there is a very different relationship with Krishna. This is in the initial sadhaka stage. Krishna is complete. I may be a very poor man and therefore I may expect some favor from a friend. But that is because I am imperfect. She's so nice. Because we are imperfect, meaning we cannot manage everything. Everything is not in our control. We are imperfect. So we depend on somebody else. But Krishna is perfect. Because I'm not full, because I'm deficient in so many ways, I'm always needy and therefore I want to create some friend and similarly I hate an enemy. But since Krishna is the supreme, no one can harm Krishna, nor can anyone give Krishna anything. Why then are we worshipping Krishna in the temple by offering Krishna so many comforts, dressing him, decorating him, and giving him nice food? We should try to understand that Krishna does not need our offerings of nice garments, flowers, or food. But if we give such offerings to Krishna, we shall benefit. Thus, it is Krishna's favor that he accepts such offerings. So, the fact that he is accepting the offering is his favor. If one decorates oneself, one's reflection in a mirror will also appear decorated. Similarly, since we are reflections of Krishna, if we decorate Krishna, we also shall be decorated. So there's a misconception that people say, okay, we have to dress nicely. We have to dress nice. No, we don't have to dress nicely. We have to dress Krishna nicely. However, not nicely we are dressed, but we'll also be decorated because Krishna is decorated. And that is why devotees live a very simple living, high thinking. Not much shosha about what we wear and how we look and all this. This is all material conception. And to just suit our requirements, we create some speculation around it, saying that, oh, we have to come dressed well so that Krishna sees us. That is for devotees like gopis who don't care really how they look. Otherwise, who are not personally interested in their own looks or beauty or anything. Their only interest is, okay, Krishna will get attracted by looking at me like this. We will dress like that, and half an hour we'll be in front of the mirror and increase our bodily conception. That's all. So for us, we should understand that we should not try to simply artificially go to these platforms. Actually, for us, it is better we get like slightly, renounced, or at least not get too attached to this, bodily platform. It's better. We'll make progress. In the Bible, it is said that man was made in the image of God, and this means that we are reflections of God's image. It is not that we invent or imagine some form of God according to our own form. Those who adhere to the Mayavada philosophy of anthropomorphism say the absolute truth is impersonal, but because we are persons, we imagine that the absolute truth is also person. Absolute truth is impersonal, but because we are persons, we imagine that absolute truth is also a person. There are two concepts, anthropomorphism and zoomorphism. Anthropomorphism, I think, is about making humans God. Yeah, attribution of human characteristics, oh, reverse. Attribution of human characteristics or behavior to a God, animal or object. So that God is human. That is anthropomorphism. So they say that, because he's not, there's nothing like, he's impersonal. So we are just attributing these human characteristics to him, and we are saying he's a person because we are a person. This is a mistake. And in fact, just the opposite is true. We have two hands, two legs, and a head because God himself has the same features. We are personal forms because we are reflections of God. So he also has a personal form, so we also have a personal form. Furthermore, we should philosophically understand that if the original person benefits, the reflection also benefits. See, this is beautiful. This is the crux, actually. In everything that we do in Krishna consciousness, our goal is that Krishna is satisfied. If Krishna is satisfied, we are satisfied. If Krishna is decorated well, we are decorated well. So if we decorate Krishna, we also shall be decorated. If we satisfy Krishna, we shall become satisfied. Oh, Krishna. If we offer nice food to Krishna, we shall also eat the same food. We shall also eat the same food. It's not like we become full by offering to Krishna. Those who live outside the temples of Krishna consciousness may never have imagined such palatable food as the food we are offering to Krishna. But because it is being offered to Krishna, we also have the opportunity to eat it. And this is true. I mean, we see in all our various preaching centers, or temple where people come, they are so happy eating prasadam. And inevitably, our prasadam gets over every time. We don't have excess. Even if there is excess, there'll be somebody or the other who wants to take it. So Krishna's prasada is so palatable. Nobody actually, they can't imagine, oh, without onion and garlic, can food be so tasty? And I say this about our temple prasadam. I don't know. I've not eaten much in other places, but it's very, very evident that Jagannath is accepting the offering in our temple, because the food always tastes nectarian, right? So, and when does Krishna accept? Krishna will accept when we are offering it with love, with some devotion we are offering, then Krishna will accept. So we should try to satisfy Krishna in all respects, and then we shall be satisfied in all respects. See, this we have to understand, and this we can experience also. This we can experience. Simply, we have to do selflessly. We should do work for the satisfaction of Krishna, selflessly. Unfortunately, initially devotees are selfless, but as they move years in Krishna consciousness, they become somewhat selfish. Now they're selfish for position, name, fame, all these kinds of things. Following. Mm, mm. So then they miss the point. Somehow they miss the point. So we should try to satisfy Krishna in all respects, in the way we live our life, in the way we deal with people, in the way we are doing bhakti, in the way we are doing service to Krishna. Literally every aspect of our life, we should try to satisfy Krishna. Every aspect of our life. And then we shall be satisfied. We shall be satisfied. Simple thing, like suppose say we are having a problem and we are trying to tolerate because we are trying to follow Krishna's instructions and thereby satisfy him. We actually feel satisfied, saying, "Oh, I'm happy that I was able to tolerate even though there was pain." It just gives us satisfaction. Krishna does not need our service, but he kindly accepts it. When Krishna asks us to surrender unto him, Sarvadharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Raja, this does not mean that Krishna is lacking servants and that if he surrender, he will profit. Unlimited servants are there in the spiritual world. Krishna can create millions of servants by his mere desire, and they are there. So that is not the point. In fact, we should be worried so many servants that will we even get service. But Krishna is unlimited, so he is unlimited opportunity to serve Krishna. Please, Krishna. Uh, if we surrender to Krishna, we shall be saved. For Krishna says, "Ham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami." I shall free you from all sinful reactions. We are suffering here in this material world without any shelter. But we are in illusion. We think that we are our own shelter, or our doctor is our shelter, or our insurance policy is our shelter, or our money is our shelter, or our position is our shelter. But we are without any shelter. We even see many people loitering in the street with no aim in life. When we go walking by the beach in the early morning, we see many young people sleeping or loitering there, aimless, confused, and not knowing what to do. In India, of course, we don't see many people like this. They're working, but still they're aimless. They're aimless. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. And some are confused, some are not even bothered to be confused. Some are just like happy with that, their aimlessness. If you ask people saying that, what is the goal of your life? Clueless. What do you want to achieve in 10, 15 years? Some material goal will be mentioned. That's all. Wow, but if we take shelter of Krishna, then we shall know, oh, now I found shelter. Then there will be no more confusion, no more hopelessness. No more hopelessness. Because Krishna is there with us. Why hopelessness? Hopelessness is a state when we don't have anybody to take care. When we are all by ourselves, when we don't have shelter. But when we have Krishna's shelter, then why hopelessness? No, no hopelessness. I receive so many letters daily from people expressing how they have found hope in Krishna consciousness. Therefore, it is not a fact that Krishna descended here merely to collect some servants. Rather, he descended for our benefit. Unfortunately, however, instead of becoming Krishna's servants, we are becoming servants of so many other things. We are servants of our senses, most importantly, and the sensual activities of lust, anger, greed, illusion, kama, krodha, lobha, moha. We are servants of these. Actually, the whole world is serving in this way. But if we engage our senses in the service of Krishna, we shall no longer be servants of the senses, but masters of the senses. We become Goswamis. When we have the strength to refuse to allow our senses to be engaged other than in the service of Krishna, then we shall be saved. So see here, important thing is when we have the strength to refuse. But this is very difficult because we have Hridaya Daurbalyam. We are weak. So how do we get this strength to refuse? Anybody wants to attempt? Some of these critical questions I ask because, so that the answers will register in your heads. Yeah,
Yeah, Prabhuji, by our sadhana.
by our sadhana. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, third chapter, end of third chapter, when uh, this discussion about karma, uh, Arjuna is asking, what is it because of which we are impelled so, like, by almost like being pushed to do things which we should not be doing? Krishna says, Kama esha, Krodha esha, Rajo guna samudbhava, Mahashano Mahapapma Vidyena miha vairino. So then in the last verse of the chapter, he says, by spiritual strength, only we can control our senses. We can control our mind. We can control lust. Spiritual strength. But it takes years to develop this spiritual strength. Of course, initially we'll develop spiritual strength and chota mota challenges with the senses we are able to overcome. But deep anarthas, deep attachments. Mostly, many people get stuck with sexual relationship with their spouse. Other people get stuck with their own body. These are deep rooted, and they take years of very solid sadhana to come to the stage of strength to refuse senses, saying, no, get lost. I'm not going to support you. I'm not going to do what you want. So that is the reason, again, we come back to Tivra Bhakti. Again, we come back to, following serious sadhana. Otherwise, we cannot. Of course, we tell people saying that mantra ayatiti mantraha, Hare Krishna is Maha Mantra. It can control your mind powerfully. Yeah, but that is provided we chant properly. But we don't chant properly because our mind is engaged in so many material things. So, which means at least during the time when we are chanting, we should put full effort. And then if we put full effort, then automatically the effect is reflected that we anyway start getting detached from material things. And then again, it is like a cyclic effect. When our material attachment loosens, then our sadhana becomes even more strict, even more strong, even more powerful. And then that's how we'll be able to refuse our senses. Mind is jumping up and down. How can this person say this to me? Get back, talk back, you know, insult back. Initial stages we can't control. We'll just blurt, say whatever is there in our heads. Right? But as we make progress, we will be able to control. We'll say, okay, first of all, we will reason. And we will have time to think and reason why this person is saying like this. And logically, we might put across some reasoning also without okay, this is also an important thing. Actually, many devotees think that, reasoning out or giving our reason for, say, not doing something is offense, aparad. This is another like crazy misunderstanding people have. Just speaking is not aparad. In fact, we hear somebody and they're expecting us to do something and we don't do. That is like even worse. Irresponsibility. They will tell us with some trust saying that we'll do. Many people have this habit. They will not say anything at that point of time. They'll just keep quiet. But they won't do it. That's not the right approach. We should have control over ourselves to be able to reason, give logic. If for whatever the thought process we have, logic should be based on Shastra or Guru Sadhu Shastra. And then that's what that for that we need strength. We need spiritual strength. We are spiritually weak. That's why I keep saying that, just running around doing some seva, it's all okay. It's all okay. But it'll take us years to come to the stage of real strength, spiritual strength. Because actually the services we are doing also, it's not like, are we doing just with the intention to satisfy Krishna? If we are doing that, then automatically that service itself will have an impact on us. That we'll start getting control over ourselves. We'll start developing spiritual strength. We'll stand for the right things in Krishna consciousness. All this is a sign of spiritual strength. Not just succumbing to anything and everything that is told to us, whether it is right or wrong, in the name of seniority. It is not correct. I mean, senior, that by definition a person is a senior if he's stating things as per Shastra. But if some things are being done whimsically, then it's not required that we have to follow. To be even to able to refuse, that also requires spiritual strength. To be able to refuse our senses from indulging in material sense gratification, it requires spiritual strength. All this requires us to do strict sadhana. And of course, we have to be in the association of devotees from whom we can learn. And that's why, I don't like this online forum. I'm happy to engage with devotees online when I'm also engaging with them offline. I mean, this is my personal preference. Because otherwise they can't learn. Not everything can be learned just by hearing, as in, we're not like so sharp. At least this has been my experience that just by hearing, very few devotees can do that. Just by hearing, without seeing in practice, that they just learn. Because we have our own weaknesses, and then when we are in the association of devotees who are strong, then we look at them, we look at their situations, the way they are dealing with things, etc. And so, okay, this person is able to do, I can also do. So we require this strength, and this is the crux of our Krishna consciousness. That's why Krishna in Bhagavad Gita earlier on only says, "Tyaktva hridaya daurbalyam, uttishta parantapa, tyaktva parantapa." So that hridaya daurbalyam, weakness of heart, this is one of the root cause of all offenses, apradhas also, weakness of heart. So we should develop spiritual strength, and it develops, or it doesn't take us like zillions of years to develop that spiritual strength. If 5, 10, 15 years of good sadhana, but it will develop. Spiritual strength will develop. Here Kunti Devi says, your appearance in this material world is misleading, bewildering. We think Krishna has some mission, some purpose, and therefore he has appeared. No, it is for his pastimes that he appears. See, this we should understand. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha duskrutam dharma samsthapanartaya. It seems like he has some purpose. But does he have some purpose? Who has the purpose? When Krishna is saying this, Paritranaya sadhunam, what does it mean then? I mean, is that a purpose, or Prabhupada is saying, no, he doesn't have some purpose? So how do we understand this?
Prabhuji, it is the secondary reason. The main reason is he wants to give pleasure to his devotees.
No, Prabhupada is saying, no, it is for his pastimes he appears. There's no purpose. Anybody? See, these things we should very clearly understand about position of Krishna, right? This Paritranaya Sadhunam is not Krishna's work, it is Vishnu's work. This is the responsibility of maintenance, palana is Palanakarta, Vishnu. When we say Krishna, when Krishna is saying that I am appearing, it means that he will appear as Vishnu, as in he is not affected, bothered by maintenance, creation, this, that, and all. Krishna has no time for all this things of the material world. The only reason he appears, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami reveals in Chaitanya Charitamrita, the only reason he appears is to show the people, what is it to love Krishna, Brajavasis, right? And he wants to come and he wants to enjoy those pastimes and show it to the world that this is how you do bhakti. So it is just his pastime. He doesn't have any purpose. As in purpose meaning it not like, okay, this is responsibility you have to do. No. He is coming, he is happy with his pastimes in the spiritual world. He wants to show it to everybody. He wants to show off his devotees and how they do bhakti. So it doesn't have any like functional requirement saying that, oh, okay, some maintenance has to happen, some protection has to happen. No, that's not the reason. So Prabhupada is saying it's just to enjoy his pastimes. For example, sometimes a governor goes to inspect a prison. He gets reports from the prison superintendent. And so he has no business going there, but still he goes sometimes thinking, let me see how they're doing. This may be called a pastime because he is going by his free will. It is not that he has become subject to the laws of prism. So this is the point, right? Vishnu is obliged. Vishnu in his role is obliged to take care, to do paritranaya sadhana. But Krishna is not. That is why it is said that when appearance of Krishna, when the time came, the time for the avatara also came for that particular yuga, etc. Then so Vishnu, all other forms also entered Krishna and he appeared. But still a foolish prisoner may think, oh, here is the governor, is also in prison. So we are equal, I am also governor. Rascals think like that. Because Krishna has descended as an avatara, they say, I am also an avatara. So here it is said, Naveda Kaschit Bhagavans Chikirsitam. No one knows the purpose of your appearance and disappearance. Absolutely. And even Bhishma Dev says, who can understand you, Krishna? Is telling to Pandava saying that you are all such pious people and you are suffering so much. Who can understand this? It's all his independent will. It's all his desire. He knows why all this is happening. And it's the same thing with our lives also. If you are surrendered to Krishna, whatever is happening in our life, we don't know the reason. Of course, if we become more and more sober, we will start realizing. But unfortunately, we are not sober. We are very excited, mode of passion, ignorance. So we cannot understand why, what is happening, why is it happening. But if we become sober, then we will, based on Guru Sadhu Shastra, we will be able to understand, oh, this is why this is happening. The Lord's pastimes are bewildering. No one can understand the real purpose. And this is why we keep saying that we cannot comment. We cannot comment on the mood of Krishna. We cannot comment on the reason Krishna appears, the reason Krishna does something. All this has to be revealed to us by acharyas. Liberated souls say they know exactly what the reasons are and they will present it in their writings, and then we can understand, oh, okay, this is what they're saying. So without reading that, we should not speculate. The real purpose of the Lord's pastimes is his free will. He thinks, let me go and see. That's all. Simple. He doesn't need to come to kill the demons. He has so many agents in the material nature that can kill them. For example, in a moment, he can kill thousands of demons merely by strong wind. He sent his corona. Nor does he need to come to give protection to the devotees, for he can do everything simply by his will. But he descends to enjoy pleasure pastimes. Let me go and see. Just for his enjoyment. It is his free will. It is his desire. He's coming. He's not forced. Krishna. Okay. Sometimes Krishna even wants to enjoy the pleasure pastimes of fighting. The fighting spirit is also in Krishna. Otherwise, where from have we gotten it? Because we are part and parcel of Krishna. All the qualities of Krishna are present in minute quantity within us. We are samples of Krishna. Where from do we get the fighting spirit? It is present in Krishna. Therefore, just as a king sometimes engages a wrestler to fight with him, Krishna also engages living entities to engage in fighting. The wrestler is paid to fight with the king. He is not the king's enemy. Rather, he gives pleasure to the king by mock fighting. But when Krishna wants to fight, who will fight with him? Not anyone ordinary. If a king wants to practice mock fighting, he will engage some very qualified wrestler. Similarly, Krishna does not fight with anyone ordinary, but rather with some of his great devotees. Because Krishna wants to fight, some of his devotees come down to this material world to become his enemies and fight with him. Yeah, for example, the Lord descended to kill Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. Should we think that they were ordinary living entities? No, they were great devotees, Jaya and Vijaya, who came to this world because Krishna wanted to fight. Actually, it is said that, why did Jaya Vijaya actually, end up stopping the Brahmanas and externally offending them, etc. Actually, their desire was that, oh, Lord wants to fight. Let us And let us, be instrumental for this service. Let us become, we will become the opponents for the Lord to fight. So they had this desire. And so the Lord manifested their desire. That's all he just said, Tathastu, as in, yeah, you have a desire to serve me in this mood. I am ready to accept it. And then so many events happen. That is why, like Vishnu tells Kumara, saying that your cursing of Jaya Vijaya was actually done by me. It is approved by me. And why did Vishnu just decide to, Krishna, Vishnu, they don't like to be away from their devotees. They want to be with their devotees. How come then Vishnu is just suddenly pushing some two great devotees to earth to become demons? Because they desired it. Because Jaya Vijaya desired it. They desired, saying that we want to satisfy your fighting desire, O Lord. And then Vishnu created the way for it. In the Vaikuntha world, the spiritual world, there's no possibility of fighting because everyone there engages in Krishna's service. With whom will he fight? Therefore, he sends some devotees in the garb of an enemy and comes here to this material world to fight with him. At the same time, the Lord teaches us that becoming his enemy is not very profitable and that it is better to become his friend. Kunti Devi therefore says, Naveda kachit bhagamam chikirshitam. No one knows the purpose of your appearance and disappearance. Taveha manasya nrinam vidambanam. You are in this world just like an ordinary human being, and this is bewildering. Okay, we'll stop here. Any comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I have a small confusion.
Yeah.
So, what is the difference between lust and greed? Both seem to come from sense gratification tendency.
Yeah, lust is simply defined as trying to satisfy our senses. Greed is intense lust. Lust simply is the alternate word for desire for satisfying ourselves. That is lust. Greed is excessive, more than normal.
Okay, Prabhuji. So greed is a superset of lust, we can say, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a very increased lust.
Okay.
Too much increased lust. See, actually, we all have some allowance for sense gratification. Like, for example, those who are grihasthas, so they are in married relationship, they can engage in, sexual acts with wife, etc. This is a license to satisfy our senses. But when we overdo it, then it becomes greed, right? We are giving money. We are allowed to have money, right? Now, but when we want more, then it becomes greed. So greed is more than what is given, what is required. When we desire something for our own sense gratification, that is greed. But that same greed is required for spiritual progress. Like I was answering the other day, right? So laulyam, the same greed is required. When we use this greed or when we develop this spiritual greed, then we'll make tremendous progress. And what does that spiritual greed means? Just wanting more than what we are qualified for. Wanting pure love for Krishna. We might be in the gutter, but it's okay. We can desire. I want, I want pure love for Krishna. So without considering our, qualification or whatever our current position, we can desire for something much beyond us. And that is required on the spiritual platform. But normally we do that on the material platform. So that the nature of greed has to be changed.
Okay. Got it, Prabhuji. Hare
Yeah.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Anything else? Okay. Stop there. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Sameta Gaura Bhakta ki jai. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyo cha patikānām pāvanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.